Hey, so this is going to be a quick rundown of the Electrostatics Lab experiment. As we can see on my table, I have tape, knife, plastic, any type of plastic knife should do, and some paper that's cut up into some small bits. Now, I ripped it. The smaller bits will show more effectiveness. For instance, well, this tiny one right here is probably best. This one here will work really well. They'll all kind of work, but the smaller the better. Okay, so I'm going to run through the experiment, and the whole point is that we have some metric for answering questions. I won't answer any of the questions here, but you will use your observational skills to answer and to predict what will happen. So let's go forward and run through. Okay, so to start out, what we'll see here is that that we have to tear some paper apart, take the plastic knife and bring it close to the bits of paper. Can you lift the bits of paper without touching them, and why? Now, before you do this, I want you to make a hypothesis, and that hypothesis is what charges will each object take during the experiment at the different points, and why. So right here, will there be any charging? Will there be any interaction? Hopefully I've discharged all of my objects at this point, but we will soon see what happens. Okay, so the first part just tells me to bring the knife to the paper. Nothing special happening. Let's check out what happens. Abracadabra. Expelliarmus. Okay, moving on. Okay, now the next part asks us to rub the knife briskly with fabric. So what we can see here is that it asks us to rub this with some sort of wool fabric or fur. But for us, I don't have any of that around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hair, and this will function very similarly. And for this, you should think back to what the triboelectric series looks like that was on that worksheet that I gave out, which you should have done by now. Why didn't you do that? Get it done, submit it. We're good. Okay, so now what I have here is this knife, and I'm just gonna rub it on my hair. You know, I'm alone here today, so no one to see my bad hair day. And maybe this will be sufficient, and you want to think about the charges that each thing picks up and why. May not be the same as, say, rubbing a balloon on your hair. It may be the same. See. So now my hair has been mussed up spectacularly, and we will see what happens as we move forward. So here, this knife has been established with some sort of hair rubbing, and I'm going to bring it close to these paper bits. And immediately we see that for some of these smaller bits, it's just like magic. I have the attractive power of electrostatics. And clearly the smaller ones with maybe a little bit less mass are going to have more effect or more interaction. But you can see that I'm certainly able to lift some of these pieces of paper. Okay, so clearly we have some sort of interesting physical phenomenon here. So the next part, what we're going to be doing is looking at the interaction between charged and uncharged objects. And so we're going to obtain some Scotch tape. And it has been obtained. And now what we want to do is press it to the tabletop, attain about 15 centimeters of Scotch tape. So 15 centimeters is, oh, let's see, that's about 10, say about 15. Okay, something on this order, you know, give or take. And now we have some tabs to hold on to. They're not, they don't have to be nice. Mine certainly aren't. And then we will press this down. So sticky side up and sticky side down. And that is that part of the experiment. Now, let's move on to the next part. And we're moving to part C. So we have to have 2 more pieces of sticky tape. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to obtain 2 more pieces of tape. And it turns out these are probably a little short. And that'll make it a little harder to observe what we're looking for. So I'm going to make something look along this. And so now I have my 2 pieces of tape. I'm going to choose these 2. And I'm going to bring the tapes near each other. Ah, it's magic. Okay, well, this may or may not work. So now we're going to bring these near each other. And what do we observe? Okay. And now let's try to face the other side of the tape. Sticky sides are facing each other now. All this here tape. Tape a plastic knife to the top of your desk so that about 3/4 of the knife sticks out over the floor. Charge another 15 centimeter piece of tape. Write T on the tape and then rub the tape so that it's smooth on the table. Then quickly but carefully peel it off, and this is going to be my test tape. Okay, so we have to write T on this tape. It's not great. Let's get a marker. Okay, that's going to be my test tape. And take 2, and we're going to hang it from the end of the knife. And then we're going to take a new piece of tape and write A on it. And we're going to take another piece of tape. Let's tape B on top. So the first thing is I'm going to take these 2 together off. So now I'm going to bring it near the test tape. Okay, now I'm going to bring it near some bits of paper. And this is sticky side up. So the sticky side is not facing the paper. Now, we're going to peel these apart and we're going to see what happens. So tape A and tape B, and I'm going to place their non-sticky sides toward each other. Okay. And now I'm going to bring tape B toward the test tape. Now I'm going to bring tape A toward the test tape. Tape B again toward the test tape. Tape A toward the test tape. Okay. And now we're going to get another knife. Now I'm going to do part number 8. Number 8 requires another knife. I just have a spoon. I'm going to show you that by rubbing against my hair and placing near paper, the same effect happens. Okay, and now what we're going to do is rub against the hair, place it toward A, and then I'm going to place it toward B. Place it toward A again. Place it toward B. For a better view. And a better view on A. Okay, and a better view on the paper. So hopefully that was a good run through. Well, not ideal in terms of the filming quality. At least you have an idea of what's happening in this experiment. And you should draw your own conclusions and write your own observations. Sorry if there were any spoilers. Good luck.